Good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at how to use Digital, the simulation program that we're going to be using for this course. We're going to get that program out on GitHub. It doesn't need to be installed, it just needs to be downloaded. So we're going to start out by going to that website to do the download. So I'm going to click on the link. I get to this program area, and you can see where it's got uh, a bunch of stuff down here. And down here you can see the digital simulator, and this is kind of what the environment's going to look like. I have already got an account here, so you may need to get an account, but the account doesn't cost any money or anything. Just use your uh, Maricopa email, and we'll hit download. Download happens, and you can see here on my bad link, it's only going to take about 15 seconds to download. It's not a very big zip file. Once it's downloaded, I'm going to go to my downloads directory. And in my downloads directory, you see that I've got this compressed digital file. Now, you're going to want to move this file away from your downloads directory to someplace you can find it in your documents, wherever you decide to put it. But once you do that, you're going to right click and do an extract all. And you'll extract that all to whatever the appropriate directory is. And that will happen pretty quickly. We get that here. And we now have this digital folder on our computer. We'll go in there, and we'll find, for those of you using PCs, you'll be using this digital application, the .exe file. And I think, once again, I'm not a Macintosh savant, but I believe you'll use this .jar file if you're running off of an Apple. So I will just notice there's no installation. Digital opens up, and there we have a nice circuit. But we want to do a new because you don't have that circuit that we just did just yet. Okay, so what have we got here? This is a very straightforward, put the component down, do some simulations kind of environment. So here, for I think what we're doing this week, we just need a couple of logic gates to put down. So components, logic. Okay, let's put an AND gate down. Select, click. Let's put an OR gate down. And let's put an inverter down. I said let's put an inverter down, and I grabbed something different. An inverter down. Here it's called a NOT. Put that inverter down. Okay, so there are the gates, but they need some inputs and some outputs in order to run. So inputs and outputs are under this I/O, inputs and outputs. So let's put a couple of inputs down here. Actually, let's put a lot of inputs down here. I click. Control C. So I did a Control C, click, and a Control V. Control C is the copy. Control V is the paste. I've got this thing still on my copy bus for a whole bunch of times. So I'm just hitting Control V multiple times to put down these. Okay, so there we've got the inputs. It's fairly straightforward to wire up the inputs. I just go to one pin and hook it up to the pin on the input of the gate. I did a click there in the middle so that I could do a little offset. Click, click, click. To do the same thing with the OR gate. Now, as we're doing a larger circuit, you're going to want to construct these things such that it's fairly neat. The neatness will allow you to go through and debug and trace and see where things are connected very easily. We'll slap some outputs on here. Slap an output there. Another type of output you might use is this LED output. This gives you a shiny light. Let's put another LED out here. And I'll wire up those outputs. Output of the gate to the light to the light. So there we have a fairly straightforward circuit. I've got 5 inputs, 3 outputs. Life is good. Notice that I can come up here if I wanted to. Let me delete that one, and let's put another output like that down. And if I decide to move these things, make sure that I've got the wire hooked up properly. And there I've got my circuit. Now here, the play button is what starts the simulation environment. When we're doing larger circuits, we might even put in some custom drivers for these inputs so that we can just kind of watch it scroll through. But right here, we're completely in an interactive mode. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at these dark green. The fact that it's dark indicates that we're at the low logic level. We're at 0, we're at false, whatever we want to decide that is. Whereas if we see the light green means that we are, in fact, at the high logic value, the 1, the true. Notice that for this output, we're showing off. All the inputs are showing off. This output, light green, is showing on. And of course, the LED being dark means that we're off. Note that the wire shows we're off. So let's take a look at this AND gate. Okay, the AND is going to be true only if both of the inputs are true. So let's try making that input true by clicking. Nope, nothing comes on. We'll make that input true by clicking. Nope, nothing comes on. Let's make both inputs true. Both inputs true, the output's true. We get the light showing. Similarly here on the OR gate. The OR gate should be on if any input is valid. So let's try this one. Yep, that one turns it on. This one turns it on. And both will turn it on. And finally, the NOT gate inverts the value. If the input's off, the output's on. If the input's on, the output's off. The input's high level, the output's low level. It just switches the polarity of the signal. Nice and straightforward. That is a quick synopsis of how the digital simulator works for what we're going to call here random logic.